Mornings with Mitch Elliott on 1019 KINK.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for your flexibility.
Oh, no problem, man. We're not touring. I have a little bit more time than I normally do on my hands.
You know, that's the thing. Like when your phone rings these days, you got to pick it up and answer it because everybody knows you're home.
I know, right? I still don't answer it.
So Zach, how have you spent your time during the quarantine? Have you been in Portland the whole time?
Yeah, I've taken a couple little road trips, just drove around the state a little bit, but yeah, pretty much just been camping out at home. I've been fishing a lot. I moved and we're remodeling a house, so I'm spending the winter in a geodesic dome in a variety of different tents. So
oh my gosh!
Right now I'm actually in a house. I'm house sitting for some friends that are out. We're taking care of their cat. So I got like indoor plumbing and some heat and stuff for a little bit. It's kind of nice for a week or so. Not too bad.
Handy? Are you handy yourself? Are you doing any of the work yourself?
I'm fairly handy, not super handy. But yeah, we grew up in Alaska, and John's family were builders, and yeah, we're functioning handy guys. We like to
Zach,
build.
You're a man's man.
Yeah, trying to.
Have you learned anything new during the quarantine? I talked to Kevin Parker of Tame Impala, and he installed a hot water heater at his home in Perth, Australia. He was very proud.
Nice. Yeah, I've done that as well. Yeah, I definitely have. I've learned a lot of things, mostly home improvement things that I haven't done before, and just kind of you have the time to sit down and read some articles and watch some YouTube videos and figure things out. That's what I think is really interesting and amazing about this time. I generally like to look on the bright side of things, even in terrible situations. And so in general, terrible pandemic, terrible what's doing to the economy and people's jobs and the money. However, it is giving us a lot of time to really take care of some things in ourselves. And I would say, like, everybody's got that, like, squeaky cupboard or something broken in their house that maybe they're getting around to fixing. We're doing that in ourselves. We're doing that in our institutions. We're kind of, it's time to really look at things and fix the things that aren't working for us.
Speaking of institutions, I know you guys, excuse me, you guys were very involved with the organization Head Count to encourage people to vote, and it looks like your hard work paid off. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that was boy. I'm glad the election's over. The tension
Sort of over.
Yeah, sort of over. It won't be over for a while. I'm not going to celebrate too hard yet, but it is, either way it goes, I am so pumped to see the numbers and see how many people, particularly young Native people, so many people went out to vote that had never before, and that's awesome. So no matter which way it goes, I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, here in Oregon, we set all kinds of records for voter turnout and across the country. Now, the band released a new single on October 12th, Indigenous Peoples Day. It's called Who's Gonna Stop Me? I love the song. It features Weird Al Yankovic, and it's definitely not a comedy song.
No, it is not funny.
And I just checked out the video. I've never seen Weird Al be serious for so long. How did this collaboration happen? How did this come to be?
We've always been huge fans of his, and we've worked with each other a couple times in different ways. But yeah, he had never really done a serious song before, and we were just kind of in the studio. We wrote this song with Paul Williams, who is just, he wrote Rainbow Connection. He's just like, he is one of the most inspiring people I've ever met, and just an absolute poet and just pearl of a human. And with Jeff Basker, who's just an amazing songwriter and producer. We wrote this, and we just kept hearing Weird Al's voice. And when thinking of any time that we set out to do something, we always just we create what we want to hear on the radio and what we want to see on TV. We just kind of make that happen. And with everything going on in 2020, and trying to follow up Feel It Still as well, as like, what do we do after a hit like that?
Yeah.
Well, whatever we want, I guess. So we just like, hey, let's just ask and see what happens. And he was down, and he was quoted in a hilarious way when they asked him about doing a serious song. He was like, well, I just took the approach like I do with every song. It just happened to be that the lyrics weren't very funny. So,
I'm going to play the song on the radio in just a minute. For folks who have not heard it yet, what's it about?
Is generally about it's about fences in general, and the themes, how barbed wire is kind of the death knell of the cowboy, the stop of nomadic culture, and all the walls that we build up and boundaries that we build up between ourselves, and looking for more gateways, looking for more passages through. And Weird Al is one of those people that's just common ground. You can have growing up in Alaska, everybody that, all walks of life, everybody loves to laugh and everybody listens to Weird Al, no matter like who you are.
Yeah.
And so we really want to use him as the true gateway that he is, and common ground. And that's where I think we get kind of fresh starts and learn how to build on it.
And the video, by the way, is just beautiful. Well done.
Thank you. That was Josue Rivas and Aaron Brown, a couple of our friends. Yeah, we filmed it just in our backyards. We moved out to Troutdale. John and I were on the Sandy River, and yes, we just filmed it with all of our friends in our backyard. It was pretty fun.
That's incredible. Now, you guys have long championed the rights of Indigenous people. Is that because of your Alaska roots? How did that come to be?
That's how it started. Yeah, for sure. We grew up with a very anybody that's been up there knows like the Alaska Native culture, excuse me, is very just prominent, and it's not as removed as it is in a lot of places. You see the people, the troubles, the amazing knowledge and the stories. And when we were travel around the world touring, we knew that we just didn't see the people as much. We saw the name of rivers and towns and everything, but we just didn't see the people or hear the voices as much. And so it all started when we had always wanted to do something, but we just didn't know what to do. And that's, our entire life story is wanting to do something and figuring out how to do it.
Yeah.
But we were down in Australia, and it really inspired us. We got told about a program called Welcome to Country, which is pretty simple. You just, you can write, they have a website where you write and you can figure out, whose Aboriginal land you're on. And it's just basic manners. You ask permission, you make a donation, and you ask them to come out if you're doing an event like a concert. And then we got to talk to these Aboriginal elders for a few hours, and they got up on stage and just kind of welcomed us. And it was just insane hearing the exact just cookie cutter stories of colonization by the same person, actually, James Cook on the other side of the world, as that happened in Alaska. And so we didn't know how, there's nothing like that in the States. And so we just set out to making our own network, and we got a lot of friends and some tribal liaisons. So now everywhere we go in the world, before our shows, we invite a local representative of a tribe of the area or that's been displaced there to come out, and we just pass the mic, and it's a shared learning experience between us and the crowd. Learning about
I love that you guys do that. I've seen it, and it's very moving, very powerful. Thank
you. It's just the first step. We got a lot of ways to go, but it's acknowledgement is always the first step.
Does PTM have more new music on the way?
Yes, we have been working on an album for a while, and it's kind of funny in this climate. We right at the end, we always change all the lyrics, right the last 2 weeks. But we did that, and that's when Corona hit and the election started. I mean, you got the world was just changing so fast. We didn't know what kind of world we're putting this out into. And so we got a little confused. There's murder hornets one day, a pandemic another day. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And so we're starting to figure things out now and kind of get back to it. Also, we don't know how to work an album right now. And so we're a little scared. We've got some really good songs, and we don't know we're figuring out how to work in these times, and how to make things not just disappear.
I've talked to a lot of artists recently, and everybody's in the same boat. And it's not just that line of work. No matter what you do, everybody's having to reinvent themselves and relearn their trade, their career.
Yeah, totally. Which is interesting and terribly. It's I'm a big fan of change and forced change. Nothing clears the mind like no options, man. You got to figure things out.
The key, like you said, is forced change, because I hate change. But when I'm forced to do it, it usually turns out really good for me.
All right. I'm a creature of habit.
You performed at the SOS Fest for the Save Our Stages Foundation. And by the way, if you did not see Portugal the Man's performance, you were at the Crystal Ballroom. It's a great performance, and you can find it online. It must have been really weird to perform to a completely empty house.
Super weird, very weird. It was kind of uncomfortable with just like their house crew going around, but it was rad. The Crystal let us, they just gave us the room for a week, and we got to just play around, and we flew out our crew, and we all were testing every day and made sure everything's safe. But it was really fun to get to see our guys and just kind of hang out and eat food in venues and just kind of do what we used to do every day, but at home. It was really weird, but it did feel very good to get back on stage and get the band back together.
Was it spooky in there? I'm sure it's haunted.
Oh yeah, it's definitely haunted. And I've never had any bad issues with it. It's always been pretty cool. It's always been pretty good, spooky vibes there.
Well, Zach Carothers, we'll be looking for more stuff coming from Portugal the Man. We'll be looking for you on either Angie's List or Home Advisor as a handyman.
Yep, got plenty of time.
Thanks so much. Stay safe, my friend, and thanks for talking to me.
Thank you. See you.
That was awesome, Zach. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, man. That was great.